You've been waiting for things to change, waiting for the breakthrough, the answer, the moment when everything that's been stuck finally starts to move. You've prayed, you've trusted, you've held on through seasons that felt impossibly long, impossibly hard, and still nothing, or at least nothing you can see. The circumstances are the same. The struggle continues. The door you've been waiting for stays closed, and you're starting to wonder if it's ever going to change, if God even sees what you're going through, if there's a breakthrough coming at all, or if this is just your life now. But what if you're closer than you think? What if God is already setting things in motion, already preparing the shift, already working behind the scenes in ways you can't see yet? What if the breakthrough isn't coming? Because it's already here just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to break through. Because here's what most people don't know. What gets missed in the waiting, in the frustration, in the feeling like nothing's happening? God always shows signs before the shift comes. Not obvious signs, not billboards or announcements or clear timelines, but subtle indicators, quiet preparations, small changes that seem insignificant in the moment, but are actually the first tremors of something much bigger. And if you're paying attention, if you know what to look for, you'll recognize them. You'll see that God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't abandoned you. He hasn't left you stuck. He's been working all along. And the shift you've been waiting for, it's closer than you think. Here's the first sign. The one almost everyone misses because it doesn't feel like progress. Everything gets harder right before it gets better. Not easier. Harder. The pressure increases. The opposition intensifies. The struggle that was already difficult becomes almost unbearable. And your first instinct is to think you're going the wrong direction. That God must not be in this. That if this were his plan, it wouldn't be this hard. But that's not how it works. Right before breakthrough, there's breaking. Right before deliverance, there's deep testing. Right before the shift, there's shaking. Think about childbirth. The hardest, most intense contractions come right before the baby is born. The moment of greatest pain is also the moment closest to new life. Or think about a seed. Right before it breaks through the soil, it has to break open. It has to die to what it was so it can become what it's meant to be. The breaking isn't a sign that nothing's happening. It's a sign that everything's happening. God is preparing you, strengthening you, removing what needs to be removed and building what needs to be built, so that when the breakthrough comes, you're ready for it. Because the blessing you're waiting for requires a different version of you, a stronger version, a more surrendered version, a version that's been refined by the very pressure you're trying to escape. And if God gave you the breakthrough before the breaking, you wouldn't be able to sustain it. You'd lose it as quickly as you got it. So he lets the pressure build. He lets the difficulty intensify, not to punish you, to prepare you. And when you're in the hardest moment, when you feel like you can't take anymore, that's when you're closest. The second sign. And this one feels like the opposite of progress. You lose interest in things that used to matter to you, not because you're depressed, not because you're giving up, but because God is shifting your focus, realigning your priorities, detaching you from things that would compete with what he's about to give you. Maybe it's a relationship that used to be central to your life, and now you just don't care as much. You're not angry. You're not hurt. You're just indifferent. Maybe it's a goal you were obsessed with, and suddenly it doesn't seem as important. You still want it, but it doesn't consume you anymore. Maybe it's an old version of your life, an old dream, an old identity, and you're finding yourself letting go without even trying. That's not apathy. That's God loosening your grip, because you can't receive what's next if your hands are still clutching what was. You can't walk into the new season if you're still emotionally tied to the old one. So God creates distance. He shifts your heart. He makes room for what's coming by removing your attachment to what's been. And it feels strange, unsettling, like you're losing yourself. But you're not losing yourself. You're finding yourself. The real you, the you that's not defined by the things you've been holding on to, but by the God who's been holding you all along. Third sign. And this one's the most uncomfortable. You start seeing your own patterns more clearly. Things you've done for years, ways you've operated, defense mechanisms you relied on, Suddenly they're obvious, and they bother you in a way they never did before. You see how you avoid difficult conversations, how you people please instead of being honest, how you self-sabotage, how you play small, how you hide, and you can't unsee it anymore. You can't pretend it's not there. You can't excuse it away. That awareness, that's not condemnation. That's illumination. God is showing you what needs to change before the next season. He's exposing the patterns that would sabotage the blessing. He's bringing hidden things to light so you can finally deal with them, because the breakthrough you're waiting for will require a different way of operating, a different level of courage, a different level of honesty. And if you don't deal with these patterns now, they'll follow you into the next season and destroy what God is trying to build. So he shows them to you, not to shame you, to free you. And when you start seeing yourself more clearly, when you start recognizing patterns you've been blind to, that's a sign the shift is coming. And God is preparing you to walk into it differently than you've walked into things before. Fourth sign, you might have noticed this already. God starts bringing new people into your life, not randomly, strategically. People who speak differently than the voices you've been listening to. People who challenge you. People who see potential in you that you don't see in yourself yet. People who are where you're going, not where you've been. And at the same time, some of the old relationships start to fade. Not through conflict, just through distance, through natural drift, through a quiet understanding that you're moving in different directions now. That's not loneliness. That's alignment. God is surrounding you with the people who belong in your next season. People who will support the version of you you're becoming, not the version you've been. And he's creating space by removing the voices that would keep you stuck in the old patterns, the old thinking, the old limitations. When you start noticing new connections forming and old ones naturally fading, pay attention. That's God rearranging your circle for what's next. Fifth sign, and this one feels contradictory. You feel more alone, but also more at peace. The noise quiets down. The distractions fall away. You find yourself with more silence, more stillness, more time alone with your thoughts and with God. And it's not the lonely that comes from isolation. It's the solitude that comes from preparation. God is drawing you closer. He's removing the clutter so you can hear him more clearly. He's stripping away the dependencies so you learn to depend on him. Because what's coming next will require intimacy with God, not just information about him. It will require you to know his voice, trust his leading, follow him even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. And that kind of relationship doesn't develop in the noise. It develops in the quiet. So if you find yourself in an unexpected season of solitude, if the busyness is giving way to stillness, if you have more time alone than you're used to, don't fight it. Don't fill it. Don't rush to make the noise come back. God is doing something in the quiet. He's speaking things you need to hear. He's preparing you for something that requires a deeper foundation than what you had. The solitude is a sign. The shift is near. Sixth sign. This one's subtle but significant. Small things start shifting. Not the big problem. Not the major situation. But little things around the edges start to change. An unexpected check comes in the mail. A conversation happens that you didn't initiate. A door cracks open that you thought was permanently closed. They're small. They don't solve everything. But they're different. They're movement. They're evidence that something is shifting in the spiritual realm, even if it hasn't fully manifested in the natural yet. Those small shifts are the advance team. They're the first signs that the larger breakthrough is on its way, and most people dismiss them. They're waiting for the big dramatic change. So they overlook the small, quiet adjustments that are actually God's way of showing them. I'm working. It's happening. Don't give up now. When you start seeing small, unexpected shifts, pay attention. They're not random. They're the beginning. Seventh sign, and this is the one that confirms all the others. Your prayers start to change. You stop begging. Stop pleading. Stop trying to convince God to do something. And you start thanking him. Even before you see it, even before it manifests, you find yourself praying differently, not from desperation, from faith, not asking if he's going to do it, thanking him that he's already doing it, not wondering when it's going to happen, trusting that it's happening in His perfect timing. That shift in your prayer life, that's not you faking it. That's not you trying to manufacture faith. That's God building genuine trust in you. He's moving you from petition to praise, from anxiety to assurance. And when that happens, when your prayers shift from begging to believing, you're standing at the edge of breakthrough. Because faith isn't hoping God will do something. Faith is knowing He's already doing it, even when you can't see it yet. So here's what you need to understand. If you're experiencing any of these signs, if things are harder, if you're losing interest in old things, if you're seeing your patterns clearly, if new people are coming in, if you're in unexpected solitude, if small things are shifting, if your prayers are changing, you're not stuck, you're not forgotten, you're not abandoned, you're being prepared. God is positioning you, realigning you, removing what doesn't belong and adding what does. The shift you've been waiting for isn't someday. It's already in motion, and your job isn't to make it happen. It's to cooperate with what God is already doing, to embrace the hard season instead of resenting it, to release what's fading instead of clinging to it, to deal with the patterns He's exposing instead of defending them, to receive the new people He's bringing instead of isolating, to lean into the solitude instead of filling it with noise, to celebrate the small shifts instead of dismissing them, to pray with faith instead of fear. Because when you cooperate with what God is doing in the preparation season, when you trust the process instead of fighting it, that's when the breakthrough comes. Not because you earned it, not because you figured it out, but because you were faithful in the waiting, obedient in the testing, surrendered in the refining. And God honors that. He honors the ones who trust Him in the dark, who hold on when it makes no sense, who keep believing even when they can't see. The shift is coming. It's closer than you think. And when it arrives, when you finally see what God has been doing all along, you'll understand why it took so long, why it had to be this hard, why He had prepared you so thoroughly. Because what He's giving you is bigger than what you were asking for. And the you that's emerging from this season is stronger than the you that entered it. So don't give up now, not when you're this close. The signs are there. God is speaking. The shift is near. And your breakthrough is coming.